Welcome everyone to another episode of La Cosecha Media Lounge. I'm your host, Andrea Cano with Summit K-12. And on today's special episode, we have Dr. Aradhana from Language and Equity. Thank you so much for being here today.
Well, thank you for having me.
First off, love the hair and the band. I love it. Can you tell me a little bit about who you are? What do you love about what you do?
So, who I am, the most important thing to know really about who I am is that I am an emergent bilingual. I started school not speaking English, and I think that really defines why I love what I do. So my background is 25 years of being a multilingual educator. I've taught as a dual language teacher on both the Spanish and the English sides. I've been a transitional bilingual teacher. I've been an ESL teacher, a world language teacher for Spanish. I've been a sheltered English immersion teacher. So I've done all of this in Texas, Florida. I've taught in India. So it's been some great experiences. And then I've also been an administrator. So I've been a building administrator, taught at a school with a lot of emergent bilingual students. And I've also been a director of multilingual education. And so I've started a dual language program from ground up.
Which is tough.
It is tough to do. And not only did we start it from ground up, we started at every single elementary school in our district.
At the same time?
At the same time.
Oh, wow.
And so they converge now at the middle schools, which is great.
Yes.
And I've also, that was in Connecticut. And I've also worked as a director of multilingual education in Massachusetts, where I worked with the program that was like 30 years old. But, sometimes small decisions that we make start to derail us and then bringing it back to where we want it to be. So I've done all of this work, and I've been the president of MABE, the Multi-State Association of Bilingual Education, been consulting. I write for duallanguageschools.org through Velasquez Press.
Ah, yeah.
And so now I'm really making a switch. And
so what haven't you done?
That's a good question. So I haven't been a full-time consultant until now. I moved into that now. So
awesome.
It's a really great and exciting change to be able to really work with a lot of different districts and schools and cultural institutions to build and, better our structures for multilingual speakers.
You mentioned one thing about, and I know here at La Cosecha, it's a little different. We don't have, most people already have dual language programs and all of that,
Right.
But there's so many states and so many districts across the nation who are thinking about starting dual language programs. If there's one tip you could give them about, because you said you started from the ground up, what would be one thing you would say to start with? Because I know it's a daunting task, and maybe you can offer some great advice for them.
My advice would be really think through what you're doing. That's my biggest advice. Like, don't be in such a hurry that you don't think about the structure. So I have put together the 7 sides of dual language instruction, where I really go through like what is important for a dual language program to work. And so you want to, I really welcome anybody to use it. It's on duallanguageschools.org. It's freely available. So if you go there, I recommend everybody start thinking about the structures. What are the structures going to look like? What is your language allocation plan going to look like? How are we going to make sure we have the non-negotiables of dual language? So thinking about the structures and then slowly moving in as you keep going, you're thinking about the curriculum, the standards, you want to think all of this out, and then you move into instruction. So, but you want to be very methodical about this.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's a lot to do and start from the ground up and do that. Is that part of the work you do in consulting, helping schools start these programs?
Absolutely. So there are 2, tracks. So one is, working with schools and school districts that want to start dual language programs, because it's such an admirable goal.
Yes.
We know it's the program that really works for our kids. So we really want to think through and be very methodical about it. So I definitely support our schools and school districts that are in this process, even the ones that are just thinking about it and helping them think through. So regardless of the stage, but I also work with schools and school districts that are looking to improve their programs.
Awesome.
So we always want to be in that mode of improvement, right?
Yes, absolutely. And now, what is your featured session this time at La Cosecha? What will you be speaking about?
So actually, the 7 sides of dual language instruction. So we just talked about that, right? I'm also have, that's my featured session today. And then tomorrow I'll be talking about high academic achievement for, in terms of bilingualism and biliteracy.
And what does that look like? What are some tidbits you can give us on what that looks like?
So really, there are two things that we want to think about. One is the fact that, I speak 3 languages. My native language is Tamil, which is from southern India. Obviously, I'm talking in English.
Y
And then
español,
Y
¿verdad?
español, sí, hablo español.
Sí.
Pero no hay 3 personas en mi cerebro. There are not 3 people, this monolingual English
Pero a
speaker,
veces se siente que
monolingual.
sí.
Well, that's how we measure things.
Yes.
That's how we look at things. And so we have to look at academic achievement in conjunction, in holistically. We have to look across languages, not just add languages. And so that's really important when we think about academic achievement. And it's the other aspect of it is we still have to have those high expectations for our students.
Yes.
Dad, I can't tell you how many times I've gone in where teachers or administrators who are well-meaning are like, pobrecitos.
Yes.
Like they're learning in more than one language. Yes, but we know all the success that people can have speaking more than one language.
Absolutely.
More than 50% of the world is bilingual. So we want to make sure that we're pushing our students, that productive struggle for all of our students. And that is the true act of love. Right? Expecting our kids to have success.
I love that you're touching on that because I think that's a great thing to do is having empathy for maybe their struggles or having or just understanding the 2 languages, but never lowering the bar.
Exactly.
Keeping expectations high and knowing that they'll achieve them. We just have to support them to do it. So I'm glad that you touched on that. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, I mean, also with the 7 sides of dual language instruction is something I talk about. We're still teaching all of the standards. We are not teaching them twice. It's not like I'm going to teach them in Spanish today and then tomorrow in English. We want to do, bridge across languages. But we're still teaching all of the standards by the end of the year because that's what our goal is, right? We have the 3 pillars of dual language instruction. And one of our goals is high academic achievement in both languages. And so we can't forget that. We just can't forget that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you make a great point. I appreciate you sharing that with me. I'd like to ask you, as we're here at La Cosecha, and we can hear some background noise, and it's because there's so many people here. So many people love coming to La Cosecha. Why do you love coming to La Cosecha?
Oh my gosh, I've been coming forever. And it's really because in spite of all the people you see, there's this feeling of family here.
I keep hearing that.
Yeah, and it's really true, and you see people and you haven't seen them since last November, but it's all these hugs and catching up. And it's just really very exciting as we talk to one another, support one another. And it's really a big family.
Yes. We had a colleague we just had lunch with, and she mentioned it's her first time at La Cosecha. And she said, I don't know all these people, but I feel like they're my family already. And she's like, this is my first time here and it feels like family.
And that's exactly how I felt. Oh my gosh, I don't know how many years ago, 7 years ago, maybe 8. But definitely how I felt the first time I came here was just everybody's so kind. Everybody is so supportive. And it just made me want to come.
We all have similar goals too.
Exactly.
Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time and thank you for being here today. I appreciate it. I know how busy you are and you have your session here in a few minutes, right? Yes. Well, thank you so much. Thank you everyone for tuning in to another episode of La Cosecha Media Lounge. I'm your host, Andrea Cano. Remember, keep learning, stay curious y hasta la próxima, disfruta el viaje.